Well, welcome everybody. This is episode 9, I know it this time, of Two Best Friends Talk Video Games. I'm one of your co-hosts. My name is Jason, also known as the Red Viking, and beside me here is...
And I'm Chad, also known as Dragonheart Rising.
Yes, went off without a hitch this time around.
Beautiful.
Yes, I love it when that happens.
Right.
Yeah, so Chad, how were things this week? Like, what games did you play and everything?
Oh, this week I finally wrapped up Pokemon Blue.
Okay.
So yeah, for those who might be unfamiliar with what I'm doing this year, I'm basically going through all the Pokemon mainline games. And so I started, of course, at the very beginning, because I'm told that's a very good place to start. And so what I'm doing is I'm grabbing all the different gen games together. So like the Generation 1 games, Generation 2, etc., etc. And then I pick one of them to be kind of like my home base, where I'm going to complete the Pokedex. And so for me, that one was yellow. And so I've got another 3DS because I'm doing it on the digital downloads. And so, yeah, I got yellow on both of them. And so completing those two were first. And then I just wrapped up blue. Finished that one off, got all the exclusives I needed, and did all that I needed into there, like catching all the legendaries and all that fun stuff. And then now I'm in Pokemon Red. So all I have left for this generation is to finish off Red, trade over the stuff to my main yellow, and then finish off the Pokedex, evolve a few Pokemon, and that'll be pretty much it for that. So it's kind of exciting getting close to finishing off one gen because I'm really excited to get it back into Gen 2 with Gold, Silver, and Crystal. But yeah, so that's kind of what I've been working on. Right now I've got my Charmander in Pokemon Red, and I just got Machop onto my team as well. And yeah, so what I've been doing is I've got 3 Pokemon that I've basically got all of the HMs on. And so I just traded them from game to game. And so I've got those 3. And so I'm like, oh, well, I can use a team of 3 to finish off the game. And so Charmander is, of course, one of them, as he used my first Pokemon ever back in 98, I guess it was, when Pokemon came out in North America.
Yeah.
And so first played Red then and grabbed Charmander. So I was like, well, gonna do the same thing again. So
Nice.
yeah, and I'm having a little fun with something. So they say within the game that, you can kind of take your pick. If you want to evolve your Pokemon right away, then, they get stronger. But if you hold off, they'll learn moves a lot quicker. And so I kind of debated. I was like, well, Charizard learns Flamethrower at 46, but Charmander learns it at 38. So I'm going to have a little fun with it. And so I'm going to get Charmander up to 38 before I evolve it.
Okay.
And so, yeah, so that's been kind of fun. And since Machop isn't until the Rock Tunnel, I kind of cheated it a little bit because I already have all the HM mons on my team. And once you beat Misty, then you get the ability to use Cut.
Yeah.
So I could fast track my way to the Rock Tunnel to get it before I even beat Surge, which normally is what you would need to do, or you'd have to complete the SSN. So I still have all of that stuff to go yet, but I snuck in ahead and got Machop so I can start training him now.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I've been working on. I, of course, had to go do some more Cinderace raids in Scarlet and Violet.
Yes.
Because why not? So I wanted to figure out a way when they first came out to do it solo. And there were a few Pokemon that they were saying, yeah, this could work. And I trained up an Espathra. And it took quite a number of tries, but then I was finally able to do it. And so I'm like, do I want to try training a Slowbro like they were saying would work really well?
Yeah.
Or, do I want to try a Spathra again? And so I did. I just grabbed a Spathra and traded it to my different profiles and completed all the Cinderace rates that I could there.
Okay, okay.
And I never did it in the first try, but I think on one of them I got it on the third try, and the others were like fifth or sixth tries. Because
Okay.
it's dependent upon getting someone on the computer with Intimidate
Mm,
to drop the attack. You need at least one to make it really work.
yeah.
And then I gave my Spathra Reflect, so that protects the whole team, and Calm Mind to increase its stats, and then Luminous Crash, which drops Cinderace's special defense by 2 stages, which is really helpful. But the real one is Power Trip. When you first look at it, it might be like that's only a power of 20, but with every stat increase, it keeps increasing in power by, I think it's 10 per stat, like
Okay.
per stat increase. And so with its hidden ability, anytime Cinderace uses bulk up, then its attack and defense goes up, but then so does yours. So that's 2 stats right there. And then if
Mm,
it's doing it multiple times, then with every time it's doing it, if you can keep surviving, then your stats are going to keep going up. And then if you want to use Calm Mind, that brings it 2 stats up. Luminous Crash will, of course, take its special defense down. And so if you use the right combination, then yeah, you can solo Cinderace with a Spathra. So
cool.
yeah, did that a few times, and that's basically been my gaming for the week.
Okay, okay.
So
Nice.
yeah, how about you?
So mine was two games pretty much. It was Crisis Core, which you guys can see, some gameplay of that I was doing yesterday, where got to meet Aerith and all that, and that was really fun. And Crisis Core itself is just, it's a fun game. I like how different it is because originally this was a PSP game. So not only did it come out a long time ago, but it was also a handheld game. So, held back a little bit um, by the power of that handheld back then. What they did for this one, they re-released it on PlayStation. I think it's on Xbox as well. Maybe the Switch and on Steam. Sorry, I had to hiccup there. As well as on Steam, right? Where they updated the graphics and all that, but they didn't change the storyline at all. But what
Mm-hmm.
I like about this game that is so incredibly different, and I could see if some people really don't care for it, is you'll have your story, which apparently you can beat that in like 12 hours, so pretty short for a Japanese role playing game.
Mm-hmm.
But there are all these missions that you can do. So what you do is you go over to a save spot, which is like this little blue glowing thing. Go over that. It's where you can save, but if you press Y, I'm using this from an Xbox controller perspective on Steam. Press Y, you'll go to these missions that you can do, which will automatically teleport you over to these different things, and they're all graded by stars. So 1 star is the easiest, and I think the max is a 10-star mission.
Mm.
And what you do with those is once you go into one of the missions, if you beat the mission, you'll get an item, which they get better and better and better depending how difficult the mission is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in that, there'll also be on the right side of the screen at pretty much the middle height. It'll have a little treasure chest, and it'll be like 0 out of 4, 0 out of 1, so on and so forth. So you'll know you need to look for at least this many treasures on this little map that you'll be running around in. And then
Ah.
at the end of the mission, in order to beat it, you defeat whatever that boss is in the area. And the missions, like I said, you don't have to do them, but if you do them, you could get summons, you can get really rare items, armor, stuff like that, or really hard to find materia. Because in this game,
Mm.
materia fusion is a big thing where as you're in these battles, you'll keep on fighting. It's kind of like you gain experience for materia, and it'll go from I think it starts at 0 stars, or maybe it starts at 1 star and it goes up to 5.
Mm.
So once you have that maxed out, it'll say mastered. Then what I like to do is put into materia fusion, and you fuse basically your mastered materia with something else that you have. And you can see at the bottom what it will transform into. So, for example, say if you have Cure, if you fuse it with the right kind of materia, it could become Cura, or it could become something totally different. And on top of that, the materia that you have mastered, it'll have a stat next to it, so it might be like Magic plus 8, for example.
Mm.
When you fuse it, it might go up higher. Say if you go from Cure to Cura, it might start at like Magic plus 9. And then each time it levels up, that stat will also get better. Not to mention that obviously the potency of your spell will become greater as well.
Hmm.
So that's a cool little function. And then on top of it, it has like this really weird like slots kind of thing. So when you're in a battle, in the top left corner of your screen, it'll have 3 slots, and it does this all automatically. You don't have to press a button or nothing for it. But if you get 3 of a kind, for example, say with your summons, if you want to summon, let's say Ifrit, you have to get 3 Ifrits, and then you press, it's like the left stick and the right stick down at the same time. So L3, R3. And then you'll
Okay.
do your summon. Or, I don't know, there's so many things with it. It gets so complex, and it's a lot of fun. Zack is the character that you play as. Um, on top of that, Zach, I like to joke around as being like the first really obviously ADHD protagonist I've ever come across. But he is so full of life. He's all about like, let's go do it. This is going to be amazing. He's so hyped up all the time. And on top of that, what I think makes it really funny is he's very emotional, right? And
Mm.
at certain beats of the storyline, you'll actually have this thing where if you on your slot scene, let's say Aerith, because I came across her yesterday. If you get 3 pictures of Aerith, you could do her ability, which is like a really massive, amazing heal that you can get. But yeah, there's like this little emotion thing. So if his emotions are heightened, he will do better based on who he's more emotionally attached to at the moment. It's
Mm.
just, it's really interesting. Really interesting little thing. It's a little bit hard to explain, but I think I got it across fairly well right there.
Mhm.
Um, let's see here. Yeah, so that was Crisis Core. Just had to have a little sip of water here. Um, and on top of that, the other one that I did that I streamed a couple times this week was A Plague Tale Requiem, which
Mhm.
later on this week I'll be releasing a review of because I think I have a really unique perspective on it. Um,
Mhm.
overall, extremely good game. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking of rating it between like an 8 or a 9 out of 10. It wasn't perfect because a couple of the story beats were very, very, very similar to A Plague Tale Innocence,
Oh,
which I
okay.
think took a little bit off of that. That'll be stuff that I'll be going into on the review that I do on my YouTube channel.
Mhm.
But overall, really good game. The storyline, the character growth we have throughout it, I thought was very well done. The relationship with Hugo and Amicia, which they're the brother and sister, was very well done. No complaints on that part. They did have a couple things that they changed, like little quality of life improvements for the game, such as you're no longer limited on how many rocks you can have in your sling, which was a big thing in Innocence, where it created this really big dynamic of being stealthy because you only have so much ammunition, right? That was your main form of attacking people, was with your little slingshot.
Right.
So in this game, they're like, you know what? Infinite ammo doesn't matter. It's like, okay, cool. That makes it nice. But it changed the game because as you progress in the game, you get a crossbow and you can upgrade certain things in the game, and the crossbow was one of them.
Mhm.
So with that crossbow, oh my word. when you have that maxed out, every single shot that you do with your crossbow, if you hit an enemy, is like a one-hit kill.
Oh wow.
So when you have the crossbow maxed out, um, the big thing with the crossbow was you only have so many bolts to go with it.
Right.
So when it's level 1, I think you got 2. So it'd really be something of only use this in the utmost like precarious of situations.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when you have it maxed out, I think you have a maximum ammo of 6, 5 or 6. So it's still not a lot, but every single time you hit an enemy, if you go over to the body afterwards, you can pick up your bolt. So it's like you have infinite ammo
Oh.
because the game also has oh, what do you call it again? Aim assist. That was it. So you
Okay.
have aim assist, so theoretically you should never miss a shot.
Right.
And like I said, the only time where if you shoot somebody it's not going to work is if you hit the armor. But since at that point in the game, once you have the crossbow maxed out, you should know how to disable an enemy's armor so you could defeat them.
Right.
So it's still not really that hard to do. And that was the one thing where at the end of the game, I was like, you know what, this is so incredibly broken. It made it really easy where I could fly through it. Um, you didn't have that sense of any sort of real urgency or fear when you're in those battles, which you should have, because
Right.
that's kind of what the game goes for is you're just a girl or you're just a little boy, you know? And they are not trained in any sort of um, this game takes place, I think it was like the 1800s or something like that. Or maybe
Mm.
the really, really early 1900s. So they're not trained in any sort of like knightly stuff or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
So you should be bad. But like I said, it is what it is. And those are some of the things that keep it from being like a 10 out of 10 for me is it's not a perfect game. It's reused a couple of story beats, but and you could see too that it's definitely not like a huge AAA game because of the animations that would happen from time to time.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, the game is still good. Yeah, you just have like that little robot sort of thing at times, and like, yeah, okay, that kind of detracts from it because I think they were really, really, really going for it. Because the acting, oh, dude, the voice acting is phenomenal, though. It's once again, it's like, okay, there's been the bar has just been raised again for how good voice acting can be. And it
Oh yeah.
really, really, really made me feel that the voice actress for Amicia was absolutely robbed because her performance was definitely better than Christopher Judge's for Israel as Kratos, which
Oh yeah.
I was shocked, a little bit shocked that he won that. Not terribly shocked because the game is so popular,
Yeah.
but dude, there's some parts where when you're doing fights in God of War Ragnarok, where I'm like, you could tell that Christopher Judge was not trying for this one voice line that he would repeat again and again and again.
Mm.
So that's what kind of held me back from that. Whereas with Amicia, oh dude, she has this one part towards the end of the game where she screams so loudly that her voice flips. You know, like her
Oh
tone. Yeah, so it's like one of those things where it's like you know that that voice actress really put herself out there for that one, where she gave
mm-hmm.
it like everything she had. Because I kid you not, probably as soon as they stopped recording that line, she probably started coughing quite a bit because that was definitely not controlled. It
Oh okay.
was emotionally driven, you know, where I
Mm.
was just like, holy crap, that was well done, girl, well done. Um, but yeah, no, it was yeah, a very emotional game and one that left me feeling a little bit broken. Um, I don't want to spoil it for anybody that may watch it later on because honestly, it's so good. It's so
Mm.
good, and if you have a way to play it, I say definitely give it a shot because
Yeah.
it is worth it. I think that it didn't get all the coverage I got because it's not made in North America. It's made in I'm pretty sure it's somewhere near because a lot of the names in the credits were very French. So I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
that's really cool because Focus Entertainment, I think, is over in Europe.
Hmm.
And yeah, like I said, I don't think they get as much coverage over here in North America as a North American studio would, or even a Japanese studio.
Right.
So, for whatever reason, I hope that changes in the future because, yeah, it's great. And it's definitely one where I would say play A Plague Tale Innocence first
Hmm.
because A Plague Tale Requiem is a direct sequel to Innocence. And you'd be
Mm,
missing out on so much if you just jump into Requiem.
right.
So, one of the few where I would say, no, you definitely have to do this in order. Absolutely, 100%.
Yes.
But yeah, so that was my gaming for this week was those two games. I don't think I really. Oh no, you know what? I spent about an hour one night playing Chrono Trigger
Oh,
because I can't remember why. No, I know why. Because I was watching Harry Potter.
yeah.
So I had Harry Potter on one screen, and then the other one, I was like, I'm just gonna do some grinding in a very old school RPG. I was like, oh, you know what? Chrono Trigger is less than a gig to download, so it takes like 5 seconds to download it,
Yeah.
and just fired it up. Good old Steam has a save file from I don't know how many years ago, so I was still fairly early on in the storyline. It's like, I'm just gonna grind for a bit, just get reacquainted with everything, because it's been a few years. And yeah, just did that one evening for a couple hours. I was thinking of hopping back into it, because after I did beat Requiem, I had one of those things happen to me that a lot of gamers can relate to, and that is, once you beat a game, you have this thing of, what do I play next?
Mm,
And for me, that's where Crisis Core came in because I was like, yeah, it's been about a month, I think, since I last played it. And I
hmm.
definitely want to beat it. I want to see what the story is all about because I never did play it on the PSP because I never owned a PSP.
Right.
And we do have the next part of Final Fantasy VII Remake coming out, I'm assuming in the next year or two. So
Hmm.
I thought, you know what? Let me see what this is about because I know it has to do with the Final Fantasy VII story. Because this remake that we're going through is not only just a remake, but they're changing up the story a little bit as well. So
Oh, yeah.
that part is not a one for one. However, this story apparently is pretty much one for one. However, once
Okay.
again, I couldn't tell you. I'll have to watch a video later on after I beat this to see is it exactly the same or did they change anything? So we shall see.
Mm,
But yeah, that's that's that one. And then after that, I think I'm gonna wait until Forspoken comes out because I did get the pre-order for that. Because it
okay.
looks cool. I played the demo finally. I think I did that actually last week. Did I talk about that last week or no?
I was trying to remember that.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned about it.
Oh, okay. Really, the only thing with that I would say is a lot of people said that the demo sucks and they're not as interested in Forspoken.
Mm.
And then, so initially I thought, okay, you know what? I guess the game sucks. That's too bad, but okay, whatever. Move on with life. I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? I downloaded this demo months ago. Let me just let me just try it out and see for myself. So I try it out and I like it. I think it's really cool that you can only use magic in the game. There's no melee whatsoever.
That's
Which I
cool.
think I did actually. Now that I'm saying this out loud, I think I did mention this last week.
Yeah, that sounds very familiar.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah. So that's for spoken for you, and it's cool because they're using a female lead as the protagonist.
Mhm.
Which, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that turns some people away too because the world is weird as we know it.
True.
So yeah, it's like a black female lead. Yeah, I could see some people being offended by that. But I'm not. I'm like, this is cool. All the power to them. Because I don't
Right?
care who they are. As long as they got a good personality, then let's go for it.
Hmm.
And it seems like her personality is pretty cool. So it's being made by Square Enix. So the budget is definitely there. The graphics and everything look really good. So I'm looking forward to it. I have no idea how long of a game it's going to be because it's an action RPG. Sometimes those are really long games, sometimes they're actually fairly short.
Hmm.
So I'm interested in it. Definitely interested. And that's coming, I think, on the 24th. So not next week, but the week afterwards. So
Nice.
yay. Yeah. That's when things are finally going to pick up again for game releases because it's been a little bit dry for the last few weeks, I'd say,
Mm.
or before Christmas, I'd say. You get like amazing games, huge games come out in November, then December hits, you get a little bit, and then there's like nothing in January.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's see here. Talking about games and what is coming out fairly soon on the horizon. We have not much coming out next week, aside
Yeah.
from two games. Two games that I think some people are really excited for. So we'll save the best for last, but the first one on the list that I see here is Monster Hunter Rise. It's going to be coming out on the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, the PS5, and the Xbox Series consoles. It's going to be on January 20th, so a Friday release.
Hmm.
Monster Hunter is a big, big, big franchise. One that
Yes.
I got into a little bit with Monster Hunter World. Never really played Monster Hunter Rise at all. I did pick it up, I think, during the Steam Winter Sale, I want to say,
Okay.
because it was really cheap. I think it was like $10 or something. I
Oh,
thought,
wow.
what the heck? Why not?
Yeah.
So, there's probably going to be like a big influx of players with it coming out on PlayStation and Xbox. So, breathe life into the series once again. Has some noobs in there that are going to do absolutely terrible at taking out some huge monsters until they figure it out. And then there'll be new all star amazing pros, 7 stars at least.
Yes.
What do you think though of Monster Hunter? Have you ever touched that
I
series or?
I actually haven't.
Oh, okay.
It's one I'm kind of keeping on the radar down the line. If I see a good sale on it, might get it. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, no, it's not one I've gotten into yet.
If you do, let me know because it would be cool to play because it does have that online component with it
Oh, okay.
where people can play together to, yeah, you team up and you take down some big monster. And yeah, apparently it's a game you could like dump like hundreds of hours into because there's lots of grinding you can do if you want. You
Oh,
know,
okay.
take out the same monster multiple times, just trying to get that really rare drop. So
Oh, yes.
yeah, definitely a very old school RPG mechanic, but one that a lot of people really like and appreciate. So,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, definitely. And then the other big game, this one is Fire Emblem Engage. So, this was shown off, I want to say, in the last Nintendo Direct quite a bit.
Hmm.
It seems interesting to me. I'll just put interesting because we have Marth on there.
Hmm.
And there's something about this character that I don't know, do they have like two spirits in them or something? I don't know. I like to keep myself in the dark with a lot of video games.
Yeah.
So all I knew is, hey, there's Marth. That's its only feature because Marth was my favorite Smash Bros. Character going all the way back to Melee, I want to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was so good with him. But
Yeah.
that was when I played a lot of Smash Bros. And that was definitely Melee where I played it the most.
Hmm.
But yeah, so that game is coming out, and if you know anything about the Fire Emblem series, it's a strategy RPG. And
Hmm.
there's only one that I played and beat, which was Three Houses. Thought the game was
Oh,
actually really good.
nice.
Yeah, yeah. Three Houses, really great game. Fire Emblem Engage, yeah, looks interesting. Have you touched the Fire Emblem series?
Not yet.
Yeah.
It's kind of another one of those where it's sort of on the horizon there, and something I might get into later on. But no, that's one I haven't actually done yet.
Yeah, Fire
I know.
Emblem's pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I've heard because I think I tried one of them, just tried them out.
Okay.
Didn't really get too far into it, but that was quite a while ago. So that it would definitely be an interesting series to get into at some point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, I'd say if you do get into it, check it out with Three Houses. Because
Mm.
that one, I think, is the most approachable. It was the only
Okay.
one that I actually played and beat the whole game. I haven't
Hmm.
done multiple playthroughs, which you can do because they call it Three Houses for a reason.
Yeah.
Within the first couple hours, you have to choose one of the three houses. So,
Hmm.
three playthroughs right there.
Yep.
Um, and one playthrough, I don't know how long that took me. I can't remember if it was like a 40-hour or like a 60-hour game. You could spend a lot of time in it. Um, yeah, it's just cool. I think if you start it though, give it at least 5 to 10 hours, and if you're really not feeling it, just drop it
Mm.
because the combat can be a little bit tough to get into at first because it is a strategy game
Yeah.
and those can be frustrating. Um, as well in the game, I mean, there's different options you can do for difficulty. I think I had mine set to classic. So in classic, if one of your party members dies on the battlefield, that's it for them. They're
Okay.
not,
Yep.
however, in three houses, I don't think they're actually dead, but you can't do any more of the side quests for that certain person. The only
Oh.
people that can't die is the leader of the house as well as you, because that'll
Mm.
be just an automatic game over.
Right.
And yeah, there's a lot of side quests you could do. And all of them have their own backstory. So the character arcs, like their development, is really well done. So that's why I say like give it like 5 to 10 hours because you might just have to spend a little bit of extra time to attach yourself to one of those characters
Right.
and then go for it, have fun, right? There's a lot of depth to that game. So you could spend easily as much time in the battles as you do side quests and like talking to people, doing the relationship bonuses because depending on what you eat, you get bonuses for that for the upcoming battle.
Mm.
There's lots of stuff in it. I know you haven't really touched the Persona series because I'd say if you played that and you liked it, chances are you would like Three Houses because it also has that relationship dynamic going on with it.
Okay.
But yeah, Fire Emblem Engage. The only thing holding me back from a lot of these games is that word JRPG. It terrifies me
Mm.
because I know it's going to be so many hours I have to devote to that one game.
Yeah.
And there's so many games coming out that I want to play this year. And so I'm like, I think my JRPG is Tales of Symphonia,
Hmm.
and that could take me for who knows how long.
Yep.
Because yeah, that's a really long game. Oh, Rain popped in and said, "What up? What up,
Hey
Rain?
yo.
How you doing?" Yeah, I think that does it for the games coming out this week. There's of course some other ones, but a bunch of games I've never heard of. The one that interests me the most, however, is World Championship Boxing Manager 2. I there's a boxing simulation game on PC that's coming out on the 17th. Both Fire Emblem and Monster Hunter. I don't know if I mentioned it already, but they're coming out on Friday, January 20th. And if
Mm.
you are on Switch, you've already played Monster Hunter Rise. There is nothing new happening at all.
Mm.
Oh, Rain says there's been talk of GTA 6. Not much info on that, though. GTA 6, dude, I'm so interested in that.
Yeah,
whenever that
right.
actually does come out, I will definitely be jumping on that right away. GTA
Nice.
5 was a lot of fun. Um, and we're actually going on to maybe our final topic for today. We're actually going through this fairly quickly here, so we have time to slow down if we need to. But there has been some updates for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Mm-hmm.
So I released, and this is why everybody should subscribe to Two Best Friends Talk Video Games on YouTube. Uh, yeah, one of those like not ashamed plugs right there.
Right.
Anyways, I released a short on the channel just the other day talking about the news, which is, of course, Chad, you already mentioned that Cinderace is available again for
Hmm.
this weekend. I think he's done on tomorrow, actually.
Yeah, it'll be Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific time.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. And then we have. So basically, the news that I shared in the short was a lot of stuff that's happening in February, aside from Cinderace.
Hmm.
So, which one are you more excited for? The Valentine's Day event or the mystery Pokemon?
The mystery Pokemon. There's
Who?
been some rumblings about who it might be, and the
Yeah.
top one that people are thinking is Greninja. And if it is, I will be
Oh,
thoroughly happy
that
because
would be
I
cool.
love Greninja. It's absolutely awesome.
Greninja is pretty cool. Another fun Pokemon to play as in Smash
Hmm.
Bros.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, yeah, he was actually pretty good. Oh, Rain said supposed to take place in Vice City, which
Oh,
excites the heck out of him.
nice.
That would be really cool if it goes back to Vice City. That was a fun game for sure, for sure.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
Greninja would turn to a poison type.
Yeah, so that'll make it interesting to take it on, because with the way the elements work, if you're trying to go after a poison terror type, your main ones that you'd be going with would be ground or psychic.
Yeah,
And Greninja can top those elements with its main elements, water and dark.
yeah, super easy.
So you're definitely not going to want a ground or psychic type, but what you're going to want is something that can resist water and dark that can use a ground or psychic type move. So it'll
Hmm.
be interesting to see just how well that'll work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to guess Azumarill is not going to work because
Oh, that's too bad, eh?
as soon as he uses a his Terra Blast, then that's going to be super effective and going to really hurt Azumarill.
Yeah.
So that's probably not an idea. But I'm thinking a Steel type might work all right.
Oh,
Mostly
so you're
because
gonna release Steelix?
no, because that's a ground type, and I don't
Yeah,
think it's in
no,
the game, unfortunately. Um,
totally, totally.
yeah, no, I'm gonna take a look at some Steel. Oh, I just thought Tinkaton might work.
Tinkaton is definitely like absolutely amazing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Really
As
good
long as we can
Pokemon.
get a decent move set or with a good item or something like that.
Yep.
But element wise would be pretty decent because resist dark and of course immune to poison. So,
Yep.
but then again, it's only speculation that it is Greninja. All we know for sure is that it's a poison terror type.
Yeah, that's all we know. I was actually trying to find it. So when does that one come out again? That one I think
Uh,
was the end of February, wasn't it?
I believe so. Yes.
And then we have the Valentine's Day event.
Yes.
So what do you think of that one?
Well, have you got your family of three yet?
No. I
I
think it's
found
like
one.
what, one out of 100 or something like that. Actually, it's a family of three.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Well,
it's a family of four. So yeah.
funny story on that one. I found one in a raid.
Hmm.
Kid you not. It was a family of three in a raid, and I'm like, all right then.
Wow. Wow, that's super lucky.
Hmm. Yeah, it wasn't an event raid or anything, just a regular raid, and there was family of three.
Wow. Wow. But was it a fairy type?
That it was not.
There you go. And that's the big thing with this one is Valentine's Day weekend. Yes, you will get the opportunity. What the heck is that Pokemon called again? It's like Meow something or other.
Tandemos.
Cinema. That was it. Yeah. I felt so bad for him. Like, you know what's so funny is I recorded that short like 4 or 5 times and I kept forgetting the name for it. It was that and it was the dates for everything, making sure I had it all correct.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh, what the heck is that one's name? Uh, Anyways, yeah, the big thing with that is it's a fairy type, which I think is perfect for that Pokemon because it definitely looks the part.
Yes, because fairy type has the heart on it, and it's a family, so
It
cool.
works. Definitely
Cool.
works. They absolutely knocked down out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'll be cool. That one, don't think they said how many stars that one is. I don't imagine that one being difficult at all.
I think it'll just be 5 at the
5.
most.
Yeah. Yeah, at the
Yeah.
most. Oh, Rain said here, it was supposed to have been confirmed GTA 6 being in Vice City. My one thing is, please have at least a mention to the best guy, Tommy Vercetti. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah, that'd be really cool if they paid a lot of homage to the original Vice City.
yeah.
Would be definitely awesome. Did you ever beat the Vice City games? I know you were huge into GTA 4. Oh,
Yes.
Vercetti. Oh, I was thinking Vercetti. Yeah.
Yeah, I have not played the Vice City one yet,
Okay.
but I know they've got a bunch of them on the Switch, so that's something I'm kind of eyeballing.
Yeah. Yeah, because they should have oh, what do you call it? They have like a combo pack of all
Yeah,
of them in there. Yeah,
I'm actually
so
just
yeah, Vice
clicking the
City,
name.
I think that was I'm trying to remember if it was Vice City or San Andreas that actually had like the biggest world that you could explore for like so many years. And they finally did actually change it, but like a different game came along and actually beat them out on
Mm.
like the biggest area, but they held that title for a long time back on the PS2.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. But yeah, that's so interesting. The only other news I heard about GTA 6 was that it would have a female protagonist as well as a male.
Okay.
And I was hearing a lot of people not liking that because of video game reasons.
Right.
They're like, no, you can't change it. You can't have a female. It's like, no, 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 it's okay. And apparently she was, or she's supposed to be, I think it was South American.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the only other news that I heard about. Yeah, like Ray was saying, it'd be the first female protagonist ever in GTA history.
Yeah.
So people are hoping that GTA would keep the humor going on where, you're just making fun of a lot of things. And
Mhm.
some people are just worried that with a female protagonist, would that take away some jokes that you would normally hear? And
Uh,
in my opinion, I don't think so. I think it would actually open up the opportunity for different jokes to be made because it's always been just from the male perspective. But
right.
if you've ever met some girls out there, some of them are just as bad as guys, if not worse, with really, really, really bad jokes.
Yep.
Yeah. So so yeah, it's exciting. I was hoping that there was going to be a trailer released because there was rumors that a GTA 6 trailer was going to be released and this is a few months ago at this point.
Right.
And yeah, I was just disappointed that it wasn't true because I have released, I think, one or two little news tidbits of GTA 6. And dude, that's where you can get so many views so easy. It was, at the time, I think it was the most views I ever got on a shorts, which
Oh,
was, it
wow.
was close to 1,000. And at the time, I think my channel on YouTube was like 20, maybe 30 people, like
Okay.
subscribers.
Yep.
So I was like, holy cow, because you judge your views based on how many subscribers you have. So if you have hardly any, but you get like hundreds or thousands of views, it's like your video went viral for your channel. Whereas,
Mm-hmm.
if you're Mr. Beast who has, I can't remember how many subscribers, it'd be like over 15 million at this point. For
Mm-hmm.
him to go just as viral, he would have to get, you know, way more than 100%. So his videos have to be like, 20, 30 million, whatever the number is, right?
Yep.
So to get like that same sort of, yeah, your channel or your video went viral.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Craziness, craziness. And that's where a lot of channels, they'll have like a few thousand subscribers, but if they're only getting, say, a couple hundred views on the videos, they're actually doing not good at all.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about the whole like, what's your click through rate and all that kind of stuff. And if you're doing really good, then YouTube's going to be like, you know what? We're going to push your stuff. And if you're doing nothing, then it's like, you're going to have to come up with something because whatever's going on, apparently it's not working. But at the same time, sometimes a video comes out, does nothing, and then months later or over a year later, all of a sudden it goes viral. It's like,
Yeah.
why? What happened? So I'm still laughing if something like that would happen to, say, our channel or one of my channels I have going on. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, I want to get your opinion on this, and Rain, if you're still there, I want to get your opinion on this as well. So, as you may or may not know, well, definitely for Chad, you know about this. I listen to a lot of like hard rock, metal, stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I've been thinking of doing, and I actually brought this up to Amar, also known as Shade Swiper. I brought this up to her yesterday, and I was like, there's all these people that react to music, right? They react. Usually, it's like hip hop head reacts to metal or something like that, right? I was like,
Right.
what if you do it the other way around? What if you do metalhead reacts to rap?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if that's been done yet. I haven't like really looked into it because on all my reaction things, it's always people going to metal. And like, okay, that's cool. I like to watch those, right? I was like, but
Mm-hmm.
what about the other way around? So I bring this up to you guys on, do you think that would actually be a good idea, or would that just be something dumb?
I think it's something you should definitely try out. Um, like
Okay.
give it a shot and kind of see where it goes. Like if it takes off, then great, and if not, I mean, you tried it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
definitely. It's funny.
yeah.
Amar actually was like, you should make it like metalhead reacts to classical music. And I was like,
Oh, yes.
but yeah, so what she was talking about that we should do. Oh, so Rain, the question I had is, since I listen to metal, and there's lots of people where it's like hip hop head reacts to metal, what if I did something on YouTube where it's metalhead reacts to rap or hip hop or, just doing the exact reverse of what a lot of people do? Like, would that be a good idea or would that be dumb? Like, would people be interested in that? Is more or less what I'm saying. Um, because yeah, I definitely do not listen to rap or hip hop. The only things I ever hear is like the super popular songs that you can't not hear, really. Um, but yeah, so that was something I was interested in trying. And yeah, what I was going to finish off with saying there is, so I was talking to Amar about this, and she was saying what I should do is dress the part, like go way overboard, where it's like, be all like goth like or whatever. Lots of people actually do reaction videos a lot, like Game Since even. It's an idea to try. Cool. Yeah, sure. Reactions are like super popular.
Yeah.
Super popular. Um, but yeah, she was like, "Oh, you should dress it. Have like the band T-shirt on. You know, put on some eyeliner or something."
Oh my gosh, yes.
And I was like, you know what? I would do that. I did that one stream on Halloween where I
Right.
had makeup on. So I was
Yep.
like, I'm not super opposed to it. It's just one thing where I'm like, I'll get her to do that for me because I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing, right? I don't know anything with makeup, really.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, so just like totally dress the part, to really get them
Mhm.
going. And then, all the reactions are super over the top, get super excited or be like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. And have fun with it, right?
That's the key part. Have fun with it.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because definitely people will know. You either have to be passionate about something, which people will latch onto that because they'll notice that in your voice, or yeah,
Mm,
if it's just like goofing off, like kind of a comedy sort of thing, which this would be to a degree, definitely.
true.
Yeah, have fun with it. Play a part. Pretend to be like
Mhm.
super goth emo, like, ooh, the world sucks, but I heard that rap is cool. Something like that, right? So yeah, that's the idea. So everybody that's hearing this later on, if you're listening to this on one of your podcast platforms, or if you're checking this out on our YouTube channel, let me know your thoughts on it because it'll take a little bit of time because I will be going and buying some clothes and whatnot.
Mhm.
So, got to get the props for it. But yeah. All right, Ray. Thank you so much. Oh, ESO stream should be tomorrow. I think I have that on my schedule set for tomorrow on Sunday. Which, even though I have it set to 7 p.m., I'll actually probably be going live sooner than that. Probably more like a 5 p.m. ish kind of time. Because, yeah, Amara goes to her thingamajigger that starts at like 6, but it's like a town over, so it takes her half an hour to get there. Yeah. Yeah, Eastern Standard Time. So, about 8 o'clock your time. I know I'm like an evening streamer, but it definitely works best for me. Aside from today. Today's the one time where it's like way earlier.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think that about does, unless you got something else you want to share.
Well, actually, funny you should say that. I was just
Ooh.
looking on the Switch online
Yep.
or on the eShop,
Okay.
and the trilogy we were talking about for GTA.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's got GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas,
Yep.
and normally priced at 80, and at the moment they're 50% off.
Oh, there you go. So it's like yeah, not even $20 per game.
Yeah, it's $40 for 3 games.
Yeah. Not
That's
a
pretty
bad
sick.
deal. Not a
Not
bad
bad at
deal.
all.
Yeah, it's like 13.33 each.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and those are definitely lauded as being like some of the best.
Yeah, as they put them genre defining.
There you go. There you go. They definitely were. Definitely were. I remember
Mm-hmm.
when GTA 3 came out, how absolutely blown away a lot of people were,
Mm.
which made me interested in it because you hear the good and you hear the bad about it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I never did play the other ones though, but I could only imagine like genre defining. Yeah, when it's like 50% off, that's not a bad deal.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Excuse me while I go get it.
There you go. So something to talk about then for next week. Being like, was it good? Did you like it?
And I'll be like, I don't know. I was still playing Pokemon, but I got it.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I have. You know what's actually really funny?
Mm.
Steam has this option where if you bought a game but you haven't played it yet, so they'll have like a little what's new at the very top of your library.
Okay.
And the what's new is all about updates that occurred, or posts that were made by the developers of a game that you like to play. Which, yeah,
Okay.
that's cool. Lets you know. Then you go up below that, your recent games. Pretty obvious. It's in the order of games that you've played recently, as well as they'll put on there games that you bought, even if they're
Okay.
not available yet.
Yep.
But then below that is a play next section. So, as it says on here, players like you love these unplayed games in your library. So, it's like that little hint thing. So, when you were saying, yeah, you're playing Pokemon, but you have those games, it'll be like, yep, I know how that feels. And then they'll make me feel guilty about having not played them yet. Because I got, like, what do I have on here? Final Fantasy 15. I bought
Yeah.
it because I was like, I really like the game and I beat it on the PS4, but I just haven't played it on Steam yet. Or
Oh.
Ni no Kuni, because they
Oh yeah.
had the remastered version that came out a little while ago.
Right.
So I bought that because I absolutely loved it. And that is a very good Pokemon-like JRPG.
Yes. I also haven't finished it yet.
Oh, but you have started it.
No, not that either.
Mm,
But it's there.
it's there. It's I would say it's more of a Pokemon game than Tales of Symphonia Dawn of the New World.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, where they also had the option of like you could catch the monsters and then, they evolve and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You got that too with Ni no Kuni, but I feel like they prioritize the monsters a little bit more. I'll have to play it again. All I know is like the ending was an awesome um, spin on things. Really caught me off
Mm.
guard. That's about the end of this podcast, unless there's any closing thoughts you got.
Nope, that's good.
Cool, cool, cool. All right, guys. Well, we will be back on again next week as long as chat's available.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. At about 10 a.m. Pacific time. That seems to be a time that works out for you and I. So,
Exactly.
yeah, we could do that. So, look forward to that. The schedule will not change. The only thing that will is what we're talking about. And if there's any new Pokemon news, we'll let you guys know, as well as
Mm-hmm.
anything else that might be super interesting that we need to talk about.
Definitely.
Cool. Cool.
Excellent.